Judgment reserved in case of men sought by Botswana and ANC Youth League members tried to disrupt a speech by President Zuma. Good evening to you. The Constitutional Court has reserved judgment in a case challenging South Africa's right to deport a person who committed a capital offence in Botswana without being assured that the death penalty will not be imposed. Two men have approached the High Court in Johannesburg to prevent South Africa from extraditing them for trial unless Botswana provides a written assurance that they won't be sentenced to death. They entered South Africa illegally after being charged with murder. Botswana has refused to give South Africa an assurance that the two men will not be sentenced to death. ANC Youth League supporters have tried to disrupt President Jacob Zuma's ANC centenary speech at the Good Hope Centre in Cape Town. They were thrown out of the venue by police and members of the Presidential Protection Unit. ANC Youth League members wearing Youth League T-shirts started singing while the president was speaking. A scuffle broke out, and those who were disrupting the proceedings were ejected. Zuma earlier made it clear that the Youth League wouldn't be allowed to function as an independent body and that they were part and parcel of the ruling party structure. Western Cape Premier Helen Zille has accused the ANC of being a party of racial nationalism. In a reply to the debate on the State of the Province address, the Premier said the standard of debate from the ANC was disappointing. She's also expressed unhappiness at attacks by the ANC on black people who rise to leadership positions in the Democratic Alliance.
Any person who makes it to the top who happens to be black in the Democratic Alliance is stripped away, undermined and destroyed. And that is directly the result of racism, in that the ANC believe that they own black people. And if any black person has the effrontery to exercise their independent judgment, they have to be ground into the dust.
COSATU's General Secretary Zwelinzima Vavi's arrived under tight security to an empty sports ground at Impala Platinum's No. 8 hostel near Rustenburg in the northwest. He arrived 20 minutes after striking mine workers had left the stadium. The crowd became unruly and impatient when Vavi didn't arrive by 4 p.m. Vavi had intended to urge them to return to work after they went on an unprotected strike 5 weeks ago. Earlier, armed police and security guards kept watch at the hostel. KwaZulu-Natal Premier Zweli Mkhize has defended the non-disclosure of the full forensic report into maladministration in the eThekwini Metro and lack of action against implicated individuals. The report dominated the State of the Province debate in the Provincial Parliament in Pietermaritzburg today. The Premier has called on opposition parties to stop politicising corruption. He says they will act against ANC members found to be involved in acts of corruption. An international conference on the future of Somalia is underway in London. World leaders have urged Somalis to seize the opportunity to rebuild their nation. U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton says negotiations with Islamist militants Al-Shabaab are completely out of the question.
For our part, the United States will engage with all Somalis who denounce Al-Shabaab's leadership and the violence it espouses, and who embrace the political roadmap and the fundamental rights and freedoms that all Somalis deserve. But we adamantly oppose negotiating with Al-Shabaab.
A look now at the top story at 7 o'clock. The Constitutional Court has reserved judgment in a case challenging South Africa's right to deport a person who committed a capital offence in Botswana without being assured that the death penalty will not be imposed. Two men have approached the High Court in Johannesburg to prevent South Africa from extraditing them for trial unless Botswana provides a written assurance that they will not be sentenced to death.